Hey everybody, welcome to your Scorpio horoscopes for the week ending August 5th. We're done with July. We're into August now. We're just that much closer to Scorpio season. That's all that matters, right? We're just that much closer to the cool time of the year, fall, where you got Halloween and you got all the Scorpio stuff. And yeah, that's my favorite time of the year also. No planets in Scorpio this week. Focus continues to be on the past. And there's a couple of things actually that come up for me with this. One is, of course, something that I've probably talked about a million times with you guys, as well as everybody else, and that's the proper focus on the past. A lot of times we get stuck in what could have been, what should have been, what I had, what I don't have anymore, kind of a thing. It sets the wrong emotional tone for any kind of motivation to get things done. But I feel like this week for you guys, it is important to go through that process. I think a lot of the reason why this trips us up is because we're constantly looking at what we can't get back. We're constantly looking back the things that were done to us that were not okay, that we're not okay accepting. And it's okay not to accept it. That doesn't change what happened, unfortunately, but in all honesty, if we don't take the time to go back and heal those parts of ourselves, we continue to stay in a place where it feels like we're spinning our wheels constantly. And that place is definitely not motivating. It's not going to help you in any way. That place is a miserable place. It's very depressing. It causes depression. The more you slip into that space, the less control you have to change the present in case the present needs to be changed. So I feel that this week for you guys, what's really important in terms of focusing on the past is not just to focus on your triumphs, your past triumphs. It's really important to focus on the perceptions that you can change of various different circumstances that did take place in the past. What's very interesting is if you talk to two people who are in the same place, the same time, and shared the same memory, you get two different stories because the perception of each individual is different. They had a different experience. Even if you were experiencing the exact same thing, they still had a different experience. So a good example of that would be two people who went skydiving, and you have one person who's like, oh my God, that was like the most amazing rush. I want to do it over and over and over again. And the other person's like, that was the scariest thing I've ever done. And I am literally never doing that again. Same exact experience, completely different perception. And one of the things that I have come across personally in my life, as well as with clients, is when discussing various different situations and scenarios that took place in the past. And you have one person who is looking at it as a traumatic, very toxic, very difficult experience that caused trauma that they're holding on to. And the other person is like, well, I don't understand because that's not how I intended it to come across at all, but that's how it was taken. So by working through your feelings on the situation, you can change your perception. That doesn't mean accepting toxic behavior in the past as being okay. That doesn't mean justifying somebody's toxic behavior in the past either. I can understand why my abuser was an abuser. He was abused by his mother and he took it out on every other woman that he met in his life. But that does not excuse his behavior. All it does is take the responsibility off of me. So I'm sorry, my inner child is no longer walking around saying, I deserve this because I know I didn't deserve it. I just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So this week is a really good opportunity for you guys to focus on some of those things. And you don't have to tackle the really big stuff. I mean, let's face it, you could tackle the really big stuff, but you're not going to get through it quickly. Okay. The really big stuff has a lot of layers. There's a lot of things that have taken place in there. You got to tackle that healing in pieces. Tackle something small. Try and understand from the other person's point of view. Try to understand what the situation is and maybe what was influencing, what was going on behind it, and then try to change your perception on what happened. This is part of the healing process. And when you do that, you release the responsibility of it being your fault, number one. Number two, you release it as being something that is currently holding you back and or something that is currently causing an obstacle in your present circumstances. And if you can do that, the sky is truly the limit. So that's what I have for you guys this week. And if you love your horoscopes, do click the link below and send me a copy. You know, I love my coffee and I'll appreciate it so very, very, very much. And I do enjoy seeing or experiencing those individuals that showed their appreciation for these horoscopes every single week. And that's what I've got. You guys kick some ass and make it a great week. I will see you guys next week.